Hey guys, this is Glorious Fruit back at another episode review of The Last of Us. This is for last week's Sundays, the previous Sundays. I'm sorry guys, I missed that out, but that one is pretty much just a backstory of Ellie and her military academy days. Is probably a week or days before she meets Joel and Marlene. Let's go to the Sunday's episode. Pretty much, it starts off with this man named David. He's pretty much the leader of this group. They're doing this little mini funeral of this of a man that's died, and lo behold, that man was from the previous episode when Joel and Ellie visited a university. And towards the end, Joel takes out this man, and turns out he was a father for a family that I haven't seen for. And so pretty much he has everybody in this group wrapped around his finger. He pretty much in this episode, he's a scary man that no one wants to deal with. And so his right hand man is this man. And for those of you who don't know or who haven't played the game, that man right there with the beard is the voice actor of Joel in the Last of Us game, which is pretty cool to see him guest star in this show. That is a little weird because he's Joel in the game, but in the show he's someone else. And so you have Ellie taking care of Joel, who is struggling through his stab wound and is now infected, and so now he's need antibiotics to fight off the infection. And Ellie, as worried as she is, she goes, takes Joel's rifle and goes out hunting for food because basically they're really low in rations. She gives the last piece to Joel. She takes a few bites of the one she got. She finds a deer, shoots it down, and she ends up meeting David and his right hand man, which is at the current moment not Joel. She points the rifle at them. She was going to take the deer. David mentions that they have a whole group of families that need the food as well. They do some kind of deal where half of the deer is hers, as well as some penicillin for Joel to fight off the infection. And so, not Joel at the end of the show goes for the penicillin. And so, David and Ellie are in the fire waiting it out while the other guy comes back with the penicillin. And so they have this whole conversation where David talks about his past life before the outbreak, that he was a teacher, and when after the outbreak he began to believe in God and became the leader of the group and a preacher. And so he talks about that this is all fate, that because he lost one of his men who was a father back when they were looking for food in the university, where all they could have done was just, say hi or whatever, and, not risk starting a fight. But, they started a fight because there was a possible chance that the men that were looking for food, they knew the secret behind maybe that they were eating people. Surprise, surprise, they're cannibals as well. But not the entire group don't know about that, I guess, because the only ones who know is David and his right hand man, and maybe the guy who died and back in the university. And so going back, that he's talking about this is all fate, that now that supposedly this man and a little girl is now in his area, that everything happens for a reason. And then not Joel comes in and with the penicillin, pointing the gun at her, I believe, I don't remember, but like it's like, we can't let her go, we need to take her out. And she leaves with the penicillin. She leaves the whole deer with them as well. She injects the penicillin into Joel in hopes that he'll feel better. And then Ellie has this sick feeling that maybe they might have followed her, and also she heard sounds as well. And so in this next scene you have David and his group looking for Ellie, and his first command is that Ellie lives but the other guy can die or whatever, whatnot, while not Joel says that maybe it's God will that they both die together, and David turns around, and just looking at him was enough just to shut up. And the guys, they not like, standing up for not Joel. It's just to show just how much he overpowers them. It's just it's just nuts, and it's pretty much the same thing in the game as well. Everybody follow David, and then I have this scene where Ellie lures them away from Joel, and not Joel shoots down the horse. And I'm sorry I'm calling him not Joel, but I just completely forgot his name, the character's name in the show. And so that happens.
I got her!
They're all there, and in this next scene, not Joel's about to take the fire. The other guys are telling him to shoot her, and then David comes and saves Ellie. And just one fire to the sky was enough for them to like stop their sense of revenge for the moment. And then David picks her up and goes off to the resort, and the few of them stay behind to look for Joel. And so the next scene is Ellie finds herself caged up. David is trying to convince her to join his group, and I have this next scene where Joel is basically interrogating these men. And it gets pretty gruesome.
To where we are, and where your resort is. And it better be the exact same spot your buddy points to.
No! No! Jesus! No! Why the fuck did you do that? He told you what you wanted. You motherfucker, fuck you. I ain't telling you shit.
Okay.
No.
I believe him.
No.
So he interrogates the first guy, kills him, and basically he goes up to the next guy. The next guy doesn't want to tell him anything, but Joel believes the first guy because that's his whole thing. You beat the crap out of the first guy, make him tell you where it is, and then believing that they'll let them free. And then the whole idea is that like you point where the location is, and if it matches with the other guy, then you're good to go. Bye, you're done. But Joel doesn't do that. And then the next scene, you have David once more trying to convince Ellie to join the group. Ellie fights back.
What?
Tell them that Ellie is a little girl who broke her fucking finger!
How did you put it? Tiny little pieces?
And then the next scene where Ellie convinces David and his right hand man that she's infected, and then she runs off.
I'm infected. And now so are you. Roll up my sleeve, look at it. Look at it!
And then Joel's like trying to find Ellie, rush to finding Ellie, and he finds some things where I don't know. I don't think I can show this on YouTube, but he finds bodies along with finding the horse they rode on. And pretty much it's revealed that they eat people, and only a few people know, just like I previously mentioned. And now Ellie's in this fight or flight situation, trying to run away. David, you know, at first was convinced to, cut Ellie to little pieces, but now, wants to teach her to behave the same way everybody else behaves around him. And Joel's rushed to finding Ellie. And you have David pinning down Ellie, overpowering her. Same thing. This is probably the big scene that really defined the episode, and I feel like it's just a bit too much to show on YouTube. And so I just have clips. She basically grabs a knife that was under a table and basically multiply stabbed David until he's dead. And then finally, she walks out of the dining hall that was on fire. She walks away, and then Joel walks up from behind. Ellie's just in this state of shock and trauma because basically David was about to go rape Ellie. And in this scene here, Joel, I'll just play it.
It's okay, baby girl.
And so finally, Joel acts more as a father, hugs her, and basically says baby girl, the same way he gave the nickname to Sarah, his daughter, calling her baby girl, and in a sense of comfort. And then they walk off to basically just away from the resort, which is, I feel like there should have been a little more action, just because how can you just walk through the resort and not find any people who are on watch or inside spawning a man that's injured? It's just like, I don't know. It should have been more action, like people versus people. It just seemed too easy in a sense. Just because in the game, Ellie is hunting down animals. She meets David. David and Ellie partner up temporarily to fight off the infected, which is in the show that doesn't happen at all, which is, I think that's okay, that's fine. The whole infected fight was basically just for the gameplay's sake, just to have some fun and play. And then the next part is basically Joel, killing some of the people inside the church group just to get information where Ellie is. And I think that should have happened just a bit more. And instead of, taking out 3 to 4 guys. Same thing for Ellie when she escapes from being chopped off. I feel like she could have taken out a few guys and then and then have the final fight in the dining hall with David. I seen comments from Facebook and a little bit on Twitter where people felt like this was rushed, and so I don't know if these are the same people that already played the game or people who just felt like maybe those who haven't played the game felt like it could have been spread out to 2 episodes, which is no, that wouldn't. I Having it in 1 episode is just fine. I feel like it's just too much if you're spreading it out in parts, like 2 to 3 episodes. For one, this chapter in the game was pretty short. What made it long was the gameplay of fighting off the infected, Ellie fighting off the men that are trying to pull away from Joel. Because there was a lot of guys, and it's just for gameplay's sake. And then, let alone trying to escape from David and the rest of his crew in the town. I didn't think it was rushed. I think it was just fine. It just basically, what HBO did was rip out most of the gameplay and then put it in the show and replace it with more scenes to define David and his group and as well as giving a more emotional approach with Joel and Ellie. But yeah, I think it was a really good episode. It's not rush, but just it's just fine. It was a short chapter. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And today's Sunday, and today's the final episode of The Last of Us. And I will most definitely try to post the final review for that season on Monday. I don't think I'll be able to do it the same day just because I'm kind of tired, but I will probably record some scenes while watching the episode as it comes out just so I can get a head start. But as always, thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you liked it, even though it was kind of rushed. Leave a like on the episode; it does help my channel, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.